What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I want to break down what's happening with NIO, Tesla, SPY, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I want to break down what's happening with the overall market moving forward, talk about some very important data coming out for tomorrow as we have Jerome Powell giving his speech, not to mention big things that are going to induce volatility in the markets. But before I begin to dabble information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. Firstly, I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo, deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. Deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed 15 in total, not to mention free level 2 data with $0 commission trading. The offer ends in just about 3 weeks from now, so check it out before they run out. Anyways, now let's break down what's happening with the markets. Looking at NIO, we have a head and shoulders like structure that's developing right here as NIO is showing some weakness, and we failed to hold above 4.5. So I am seeing it testing this next support at 4.4. I see a risk of this dipping even more looking at the current technicals, a little bit of weakness that is developing. But whether or not this continues could also depend on some factors coming out for tomorrow. So I want to focus on those before I break down these charts. As a very important reminder, please note that on Tuesday, which is going to be tomorrow, July 9th, 2024 in the USA, at 9:15 a.m., we have Barr from the Fed giving a speech, and at 10 o'clock a.m., we have Jerome Powell giving a testimony. Now, when Jerome Powell gives his testimony, it might cause some high volatility for the markets because he is known for saying all kinds of things that could induce volatility. He's known for causing lots of volatility. We're going to be watching to see how this ends up affecting the markets. He's going to appear before lawmakers on Tuesday and Wednesday. He's going to face questions about monetary policy and banking regulations, and it's going to be very, very critical because a lot of the policy is going to be involving the cost of living and the battle against inflation. He's also going to be talking about the requirements for banks to hold more capital and many other factors like that, with a lot of regards to like cuts and such like and other factors like that. But I'm going to be talking more about this maybe tomorrow. We'll have to see what Jerome Powell causes. So tomorrow, don't forget at 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, that's when we have Jerome Powell's speech, and whatever he says during his testimony is going to be very, very important. On top of all of this, I just wanted to mention that we have very important earnings coming out for Friday. Right now, everything's very, very minor, but by the time we get to Friday, we have JP Morgan Chase, Wells Fargo, Citi, and just a couple of others. The fear and greed index is currently at neutral, still stuck in the middle, not really doing a whole lot. Momentum remains greedy as buyers are still stepping in, so that's not really shifting. Now, as far as NIO goes, there's some news that came out that NIO opened its 11th power swap station in Norway. That's good news as they're expanding to Europe. It's seen a lot of growth. There's a lot more buyers continuing to step in thanks to that. So with the European expansion, I consider this great news because once again, it's giving them a lot more exposure, and we're seeing a lot of buyers continuing to step in and a lot of interest, at least in their vehicles and what they have to offer. So that is technically good news, at least for the share price. Moving forward, I also want to mention that as far as NIO goes, volume has been not so great, only about 39 million. So it's very close to average, a little bit below that. So we're still getting not the best of volumes. And then when it comes to other factors, we're also starting to see a big shift in right over here, we're actually seeing a shift in analyst ratings. They're still giving them a kind of like a neutral rating, which is so far. But I want to see if this actually shifts as well. So I'll be waiting for that at least for NIO going forward. Now, on top of this, I just want to mention that the price-price ratio is kind of flat right now, kind of lackluster. NIO is looking kind of weak thanks to that. And ever since the news came out about their CFO resigning, NIO has been kind of weak. Tuesdays also tend to be green only about 55% of the time. So we'll see if NIO tries to get some kind of rebound, but this will depend a lot on what Jerome Powell ends up saying. So as far as NIO goes, from a technical standpoint, it looks more bearish. Okay, I'm going to be plain and simple. We have a head and shoulders like structure. If we lose 4.4, I'll be looking for a move all the way down towards 4.25 and eventually 4.14. We are looking weaker as we're making lower highs and lower lows. We've been doing this for 3 straight days, and there's a risk of dipping all the way down towards 4.2. Whether or not this continues depends on different factors, so we'll just have to see how it goes. For SPY is on an uptrend so far. It is looking more bullish, but this depends on if we can break 556 or not. We touched this today only to fail. If we break through this today, we're going to be looking for a bigger push for 557.5 plus, and eventually 560 will be our next target. We are looking a bit more bullish on the 30 minutes time frame. Technicals are still favoring the bulls because we kind of dipped a bit, and then we got a nice rebound. We were below 555 for much of the day, but because we got a nice rebound at the end, the buyers did return. So we'll see if we continue to push higher or not. Watch this key resistance at 556. Whether this breaks or not depends on Jerome Powell, so we'll see what he causes. If we end up getting a rug pull and we lose our 50 EMA, 554.25, look for a bigger drop. Otherwise, we still remain bullish, technically speaking. Same thing with Nvidia. We're kind of consolidating right here above 128. We're actually above 127, so that's a good sign. So in order for this to continue, we want to see this thing try to break past 130. And if we fail, we're going to be looking for a break below 127. We're just range bound for now, so we'll just have to give this some time. So we'll see what happens, especially when you look at different factors. For Bitcoin, in my personal opinion, we have a nice structure that's developing kind of like a double bottom. And in order for this to break out, we want to see this high at 58,000 kind of break for us to continue to push higher. If you reject off 57,000, we'll be looking for a dip, but this favors upside as a stronger possibility. So we'll see if that ends up being the case. But overall, Bitcoin's looking a little bit more bullish. I favor upside a little bit more. Because of that, we need to see this just break resistance, and this double bottom does favor that move a little bit more. The QQQ is actually breaking out right now to all-time highs. We've actually closed above 497, approaching 498 as resistance. Our next target, if we break past 498 tomorrow, is going to be 500. If you reject, though, I'll be looking at 497 as support. If we lose that, we could be looking for a retest of 495. So watch those supports. As of right now, we are favoring the bulls. The bulls are the ones who have the edge. If we break this resistance, our next target is 500. So we'll wait and see if Jerome Powell's speech supports this or not. So be very, very patient. With that being said, let me just go over a few more. Coinbase is just consolidating right over here. If we reject off 222, we'll be looking for a dip down to this imbalance towards 214. If we break through this, we'll be looking for about 224. Overall, we're kind of stuck in the middle, so we'll have to give this some time. But there is a risk of us kind of rejecting. Amazon was trying to rebound. It kind of got a rejection. I was trying to make a V-shaped recovery. There's a chance it tries to retest 200 for tomorrow, but if we don't break this, there's going to be another rejection back down. If we finally break this, we're going to be looking for a push back up. So look for an attempt tomorrow to push it a little bit higher just to see how it reacts. Let me just go over a few more. Meta is kind of bearish looking, but it is also trying to base, especially on the 30 minutes time frame. So I think there's going to be a rebound tomorrow morning back up towards about 535 as we have an inverse head and shoulders forming. So look for a little rebound. We'll see how it reacts depending on Jerome Powell's speech. Microsoft is trying to bounce, could be retesting 468. We'll see if you reject or not. Google's also trying to rebound. If we break past 191, I think 190, 192 could be coming, excuse me, at least for now. And GameStop is kind of consolidating right over here around this 24 area. We're kind of stuck so far. If we reject and end up losing 24.3, we'll be looking for a dip all the way down towards 24. So I'm giving this a little bit more time. And then for AMC, we're kind of consolidating, trading sideways right over here, not really doing a whole lot. There is a little bit more upside potential as we saw a nice breakout, but we're consolidating. So I think we're just going to be a little bit more consolidation on 5.5 before we continue higher. So we'll just have to give this a little bit more time. With that being said, I want to thank you all so much for listening. I kind of want to conclude the video from here. From a technical standpoint, NIO looks more bearish. It's favoring a move down to about 4.45, then eventually 4.25. The head and shoulders structure is favoring bears. So the bears have a bigger edge for NIO stock. But whether or not this continues also depends on Jerome Powell. So tomorrow when he gives his speech, we'll see what this leads to. Powell is going to be questioned by a lot of lawmakers. What he says could affect the whole markets. So be patient and get ready for tomorrow when we see some high volatility with Jerome Powell's testimony. With that being said, thank you for listening. I hope you guys have a great day. Take care, guys, and peace out.